Oh, this is a quick video that's going to demonstrate how to process imagery that you've either made a map or you downloaded some imagery from a drone or a topo map, and you want to process it and add it to the NRDS Aina mobile app. So the easiest way to do that is to process it is to use QGIS, which is an open source GIS software. And so the first thing you want to do is, I'm going to remove this just to show you, is grab your image. So what I'm going to do is I click this Add Data button. I come down to Roster because I'm adding a geotiff, and I'm going to select my file and add. And then you can see that it shows up. The next thing you're going to want to do is reproject the image so that it's using a web Mercator projection, which is the same projection that Google Earth uses. So you need to do this so the map shows up in the right place on the device. So what you want to do is right-click on the file, export, save as, and name your file. I'm going to give it a name, same name as the original with WebM at the end. And then I'm going to set the projection as Web Mercator. So you come down to the CRS line, and you're going to click on this little globe, and you're going to type in 3857 and select WGS84 pseudo Mercator. Hit OK, and then you're going to hit OK, and it's going to save your image as a raster. And that might take a couple of seconds to do, depending on the size of your image, or even longer. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to go grab that reprojected image, and I'm going to add it to my map just so you can see. And pretty much it's, lines them up exactly on top of each other. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to tile this image. And what tiling does is it splits the image into tiny little pieces and at different sizes. So when you zoom in and out of the map, you're only looking at the tile that you've selected. You're not looking at the whole map. And what it does is it just makes the whole thing draw faster. So you come up here to the toolbar and you select Processing and Toolbox. And in a little search, you type tile. And there's a number of different things that pop up, and there's a couple different tools you can use. But this one's pretty good. Generate XYZ tiles directory. So you double click on it and you set it up. So the extent is going to be your image. The minimum zoom is going to be, how far, what shows up when you're zoomed way out first. So for example, like if you're looking at, the whole Earth, you only see the continents, and when you zoom in a little bit closer, you see the states, and when you zoom a little bit closer, you see cities. So that's basically the zoom level. And for your max zoom, you want to set how far in you can zoom. The larger you set this to, the slower it's going to be to process, and the larger, because the number of tiles that it creates is going to be quite large. So the app itself can only handle, I think, to 24. So, you can experiment with different resolutions based on what you need. But say you set this to 24. DPI, this is kind of the image quality. So you can increase that if you find that the image isn't large enough for you. And then the other important thing to set here is the output directory. So you can set, where you're going to put it. Yeah. And then you hit run. And what happens is it might run for a little while, depending on the size of your imagery, and you'll end up with a series of folders, each with a number. And that number represents the resolution or the zoom level of your images. So if I click on it, you'll see there's a bunch of different files in here, and I can actually see, like, oh, it's just a little section of it. So what you're going to want to do from here is get to this level, and you're going to select your files your folders, and then you're going to compress them. So it's different on Windows. I'm on a Mac, but I'm going to click compress these items, and it's going to roll them into a zip file. And you can name that zip file. And basically that's the file that you're going to use to import or to get into the mobile app. And so thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Aloha.